So, it's been so long, where do I begin? First off, let me start from now and maybe work my way back. Okay, now, out here in the suburbs, not gonna say like, typically when people think of a suburb community, they think of, white people, people riding bikes and stuff like that. But this is a mixed community, suburbs, which if you don't know, if you don't live in Minneapolis or never been here, Minneapolis is a very diverse community. You got people from Africa, you got people from Asia, you got people from Europe, you got people from different states. Like I just met a man yesterday from Virginia who's doing the body work on my wife's car. It's culturally diverse, when you go places, you gotta know different languages. The main languages here are English, Spanish, Hmong, and Somalian. Plus a whole other mix. But a lot of times when you see pamphlets, you'll see those different languages because those are the predominant languages here. Me, myself, I'm from Chicago. I moved here. It's a lot of people from Chicago, a lot of people from Gary, Indiana, a lot of people from California, a lot of people from Detroit, Michigan. It's people from all over that migrated here. So Minnesota is like Minneapolis, Minnesota period, but Minneapolis is like a big melting pot of everything and everybody. Even the guy who got killed, I believe he was from somewhere else too and moved here. I think he was from Texas, if I'm not mistaken. Don't quote me on that. But the turn of events, okay, not to brush it off, but I just don't want to dig too deep into it because that's a whole nother subject, a whole nother video. But this guy gets killed. Police is video as we see these videos every day, every doggone day, all day. Put his knee on his neck. Crazy thing, you got an Asian guy sitting there. He's torn between two things or whatever his reason for doing what he did. One hand, he's a police. He got to ride with his police officers. But two, he's watching an innocent man. Innocent, not to say that he was convicted of a crime. So you got the guy putting his knee on the perpetrator's neck. Submission hold that I see a lot of police do it, but it gets overdone and it gets done to the point where innocent people are being killed. I say innocent because in America, you're supposed to be innocent until proven guilty. Now, we're not gonna get into the fact that this was all over a supposedly fake $20 bill. We're not gonna get into that. But what we are gonna get into is that it happens. Now, this is my views. And again, I'm gonna put this disclaimer out there. These are my views. These are not, I don't represent no type of group. This is not even Successful Convicts views. This is my views, Bonta 83. I think this needs to happen. A lot of people get on here and, they make videos and they say, well, I don't advocate violence. Well, personally, I do. I advocate violence. You know why? Because violence brings people attention to the top. When you're trying to be peaceful and stuff like that, yeah, some people pay attention, some people don't. But guess what? We're talking about a murder here. You cannot have a peaceful demonstration about a murder. Murder after murder after murder. Where's these peaceful demonstrations getting us? Where has it gotten us? It gets us a little, retribution, and then people who are not so-called touched on it, they sympathize with it. They can feel, I can understand why those people are mad. I can understand why his family is upset. No, you can't understand until people start getting violent and it turns back on you. Now your eyes are open and your mind is thinking. So me, I'm an advocate for violence, because violence begets violence, but on the flip side, it was a violent crime that happened. So how could you go about it peacefully trying to resolve it? Because all I've been seeing is when people get hurt, people get mistreated, people get murdered, the peaceful demonstrations have gotten us more murders, more peaceful people getting killed, more injustices, more wrong. So now that it's been violent, now people are opening their eyes. This needs to happen. And the reason it needs to happen, because now we get a chance to rebuild and rebuild from a clean slate. You know what I'm saying? It's like everybody getting this off their chest. They got that off their chest by killing another person. like we don't see it every day in the news. You know, you had the incident in Georgia, you know, and it was what really I can't understand is why it took so long for them to even arrest the guys that killed that guy. You got the video, you dig into the circumstances, but on the flip side, let it be a person of color that do something wrong, it takes no time to arrest the person. I myself been thrown in the police car, and then the investigation starts. Oh, that looks like him. We grab him, lock him up, boom, throw me in a police car. All the while I'm asking, why am I in the police car? Why am I? Shut up, shut the fuck up. But here it is, a video of a man being killed by a so-called police officer, and I'm gonna get into that too, because when somebody operates outside the law, that's why it's important people know their laws, because when somebody's operating outside the law, they are a invader. They are no different than a perpetrator without a badge. You're just a perpetrator with a badge. And the same thing that happened to a perpetrator without a badge should happen to a perpetrator with a badge, because you are supposed to, it's like, this is an example, not to get off the subject, but if you're a real estate investor, it's certain things you can do, certain ways you can go about making your investment, certain things you can do to make the sale. But if you are a real estate agent, you have to disclose that you're a real estate agent / investor. It's certain things you can't do because you know the real estate laws. You're bound by those real estate laws. So it's certain things you can't do as a real estate investor with a real estate license. So it's just like a person being a citizen. We all have rights as a citizen. That's why it's called a citizen's arrest. You can arrest somebody for doing something wrong or unlawful. But as a police officer, a sworn in peace officer, it's certain things you have to do it according to a certain way. Whereas our citizen can hold a deterrent a person, but it's a certain way that you have to do it because you supposedly being upheld by the law. You're a public servant. That man was paying taxes, or whether he wasn't paying taxes, but either way it goes, taxpayers are paying you to serve and protect the community. How are you serving and protect with your knee on a man's head, on his neck, until he can't breathe? But like I said, I didn't want to dig too deep into that because it draws out certain feelings, certain emotions. Me, myself, looking like that guy, you know, when the police get behind me or the police pull me over, thoughts goes in my head, is this my last stop? Will I just get a ticket? What type of officer is this? Is he pissed off? Is he out on a vendetta, a personal agenda, want to just hurt somebody of color because he has that authority? That's the type of things we go through. And now with this violence and all this stuff that's happening and things getting tore up and companies getting scared, shutting down the stores, now everybody's thinking. Now everybody's thinking like, dang, how does Bronx 83 feel? He hasn't been killed, he hasn't been a victim of a crime, but how does he feel? How does it feel for him now? Now I'm starting to think. So yeah, that's why it needs to happen, because now it's being away. And then today he got arrested. Had not all this stuff happened, do you think he would have been arrested? Can't say, but drawing off history and the way things been happening, I don't know. Another reason why this needs to happen, because it's crazy that it has to go through, and I'm not even gonna say for black people, because if you watch the videos, it's not just black people out there that's doing this. You know, it was a lot of non-black people, a lot of non-brown people, a lot of white people doing this too, man, because like I said, Minneapolis is culturally diverse. It's a culturally diverse, black, brown, yellow, red, white, you know what I mean? All the colors of the spectrum, all the races, all the nationalities, all the different people from different places. This is a melting pot. My wife is Caucasian. So I'm not coming from a racial standpoint or nothing like that. I'm just saying, me being a person and what I had to go through in life, now this wakes up and it shows people how these injustices must be stopped. And it must be stopped not yesterday, but today. I mean, not tomorrow, but today. More like it should have been done yesterday, because it got out of hand. And you know, it's just like a pot. Once the water starts to boil, it starts to boil over. And that's what's happening. Not just in Minneapolis either, in the world. So this was like a wake-up call to the world, because this is far too, I mean, I've never seen where the people get so frustrated that they run in the police station and burn the police station down. To me, I was cheering for the underdog. You know, call me what you want. I was cheering. You know, I have being a successful convict, I have my feelings toward wrong police. Yeah, some right police, but the right police, it don't make you a right police if you sitting there watching a wrong police do something wrong. You see what I'm saying? It's just like, it don't make me a successful convict watching somebody do something that's gonna lead them back to prison. That's why when I talk to people, I tell them different stuff to do to stay out of their life, to stay out of going back and forth to that prison, to stay out of trouble. You know what I'm saying? And it's a lot of things that come with getting in trouble that never leave, follows you forever, forever, forever. You know what I mean? Constantly getting denied for programs. Or in my situation, you get your foot in the door to different places, then weeks, months, sometimes years later, here comes the background check. Oh man, we see this and this and that. Oh, sorry, you can't be a part of this program. Sorry, we gotta let you go for this job. That's the type of stuff I deal with. And I'm not crying on nobody's shoulder, but what I'm saying is, this needed to happen, man. This is a huge wake-up call for everybody all over the place. So, I mean, I'm interested to know what y'all think, what the viewers think, what people think about this, because, man, who's to say what condition we would have been in had this not happened? You know, it would have been the same old thing, people getting mad, people getting frustrated, and then it kind of like gives people power. It's almost like a bully. You know, like a bully picks on somebody, and then that person runs and cowers and all that type of stuff. Then the next day he come to school or whatever, he picks somebody else, and he just keep picking people. It's like building them up. He gets like a courage. That's what I see what's happening in the world today. You got these rogue individuals that become cops for whatever reason. They work their way to get into the force. We're not gonna get into the politics of who, what, and why, where, and when. But these people are on these forces, and they're on police forces all over the world. All different type of police forces. You got state police, you got correctional officers, you got all these type of people, these rogue individuals, and you got all races, not just white ones. You got black ones, you got Hispanic ones, you got Asian ones, you got all types, and all over the world, who abuse their authority and their power. And what happens? They protected by the shield. They protected by the brotherhood. You know what I'm saying? And this needs to stop. I'm glad it happened. I hope something good comes out of it, not just for Minneapolis, but for the whole world, so that we can move forward and we can learn from this. Because it's just like when you was little, man, you keep working on it, till you get in trouble. I'm talking about like with your parents. You know what I mean? For me, it was getting whooping. You know, for some people, it might have been getting punishments or whatever. Or it might even been worse. But this needed to happen, man. I want you to think on that, think on my thoughts on that, and don't just take it at face value like, oh man, he crazy, he's saying that needed to happen, that's terrible. But think about it. Think about the after effects. Now, where do we go from here? Yeah, it's gonna be rough. It's gonna be bad. But guess what? It's been rough. It's been bad. So why not just, hey, take all this, throw it away, boom, and start fresh. They're gonna get a new police station. We know that. Taxpayers gonna pay for it. We know that. It's gonna be some laws made. We know that. But it's gonna make for a change. Rest in peace, George.
I just woke up, man, just saw my homegirl, Nikki from South Lawn, lost her son, man. Our young generation is clearly lost, man. Clearly lost, man. Like, I don't even know what to say no more, man. Like, you youngsters just going around, just busting guns in crowds, kids getting killed, you know, and it's clearly the generation after us, man, that's so lost, man. You know, man, I came into Houston and the nigga told me, yeah, Floyd, that young nigga the truth, man, right there, because he could bust a gun. Man, I knew it was crazy then, a nigga my age saying this here, man. You know what I'm saying? And condoning this shit, bro. You know what I'm saying? And like half them young niggas shooting them guns go home and they knees shaking at night. But they don't show it to nobody because, you know, they ain't tough then. Hey, man, come on home, man. One day it's going to be you and God. You going up or you going down. You know what I'm saying? That's going to be it. And any nigga don't like this message, especially nigga my age, man, fuck you right now. My heart hurt.